Well, folks, it is that time of the year again, and the Erie Canal has been fully filled, and the fish are biting. I actually came here a few days ago, and I had one of the best fishing days I've had in a long time. I caught 3 smallmouth, largemouth, and 9 rock bass. So hopefully, we're going to get a chance to increase those totals for the canal for the year today. And I thought I'd start off on the other side of the canal because the foliage hasn't really started to pick up in growth yet. Some of the areas are covered, but others I'm actually able to find a way to get down here and be able to fish. Maybe even later on in the year, some of these spots. I got to take a closer look, but we're going to try to experiment along this side of the canal for once today. So this was the lure of choice the last time I was here. I caught every fish that I just listed on this, the Booyah Pond Magic, 3/16 ounce, and we got that little Fire Tiger perch trailer on it. So I'm anxious to see if we can get anything on this side. I'm in a really precarious spot right now here. That's a little bit better. Whoa. Something just grabbed it 3 feet from the tip of the pole. Got that one. All right, first rock bass. Oh my gosh, he really grabbed that thing. Yeah. All right, first bass, let's get him back in. Jeez, they want that thing. All right, next spot, if I can get to it. I'm gonna start with something a little bit bigger this time, I think. Yeah, that's not so bad. I think I can work with that. Yeah, I'm finding that I really like the spinnerbaits. Spinnerbaits is next to Whopper Plop. Whoa! Well, the fish seem to like it too, I guess. That's not small. All right, he's a little smaller than I thought, but still only like our 3rd cast with that spinnerbait. Got us a smallmouth. This is a pretty fish. Let's get this one back in the water. All right, good start. All right, so I'm not the only one that likes the spinnerbaits. The fish do too, and that's the important part. All right, that's a good sign, because that means we'll get not only hopefully the larger fish, but also ones that size too on that spinnerbait. That's what I'm hoping for. That's a 1/4 ounce spinnerbait that I got. Thought it would be a nice happy medium, not one of my huge ones that I got. So hopefully everybody can get a piece of it. Even the larger rock bass. I mean, I've caught rock bass on my full 1/2 ounce size spinnerbaits anyway, so they usually don't have an issue. I can't believe how hard that smallmouth fought. I thought that was a much bigger fish. That fish wasn't even a foot. He shrank. He shrank real fast. Ooh, I made a good splash. That should alert every bass in the area. All right, I found another stable spot. I like that there's trees overhanging. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to bring them into play. Actually, not too bad. The wind at this spot is working for me because it's blowing the lure back towards the shore. There's a lot of junk over there, I guess. Oh, 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 that's not good. All right, I think I've got most of them. I stepped on a giant ant hill and I have ants crawling all over my feet. Okay, I think I got them all off. That is nuts. Okay, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for that. Never thought I'd have to deal with something like that. You know, I would think in like the sand, with the dirt and stuff like that, or area where there's sidewalks and stuff where they can go into the cracks, but not on giant boulders on the side of the canal. That was a bit frightening. I don't even want to step back over there to show you guys what I was dealing with. It's that bad. There's thousands over there. I had to pull about 100 off my feet. Oh. I do not normally have an issue with insects at all, but that's enough to wig anybody out, I think. Whew. All right, so got to be careful of that. Might try to avoid standing on the rocks where we can after that. Yeah, still not that much. I thought, when I was looking across from this, because that's where I usually fish, right across the other side, I thought that this area right here was still fairly open, but I guess it's not. That, however, is, and this is one thing I did want to fish while I was over here. We're probably going to stick around here for a little bit, because this looks like a decent spot. I just need to keep an eye on this gravel pit and make sure there ain't any ants in it, because I really don't want to have that happen again. That's one. Oh. All right, buddy, stay on. Stay on.
I see a lot of people fishing on here, and I don't see a lot of fish being pulled out, so.
Yeah, gotta have the right bait.
What is it?
This is a rock bass.
Rock bass.
They're known for their red eyes.
Oh, wow.
And they will go after anything. They'll go after a lure as big as themselves. They're that aggressive. Absolutely. All right, let's get this guy back in.
Okay.
All right. Swam off. He's all good. So what I'm using, this is a spinnerbait. So normally the way this comes, it's just got these two pieces of metal here that kind of twitter back and forth in the water.
Right.
But then you add on this, a rubber minnow, and this is called a trailer. So now you have this trailing behind it, and it gives something for the fish to target. So that the fish comes up and engulfs that, and then nails the hook.
Nice.
But
well, enjoy.
thank you. You have a good evening.
Yeah, have fun.
So there's fish around here. We like that. There's an ant on my arm. I don't see any more ants around me though. He must have been a straggler. All right, I'm happy I found this spot. It seems pretty stable and I don't see any ants for the time being. So we're gonna hang out over here for a bit because I like this spot. Obviously we got the one rock bass. That's not super telling because how many rock bass are in the canal, but this is a nice structure to fish around. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's really deep enough for there to be anything down there. You never know though, huh? Interesting. I wonder how big like the slits are they're allowing the water through though. All right, this is what we're talking about. This is what I was hoping for. We actually have a solid platform to stand on. Now I can try and work this tree for a little bit. I had a fish, I think it was a rock bass. So there's more over there. Probably too small to hold on, but got that one. These aren't bad rock bass. These are all pretty decent. Where did you get it, bud? Oh, right there. That's a pretty nice little fish right there. Oh, I knew it. They're hiding down there. Oh, jeez. I dropped it and he just grabbed it. Guys, you were too easy. Come on. You got to be a little bit harder to get than that. Well, about the same size. Like I said, we have not caught a tiny one yet. I wonder if there's more down there. I'm sticking with the big pole for this spot so we can just pick anything up that we need to. I've been really happy with this Fenwick HMG. It's been a really solid pull. I actually bought a second one, so I've got two of them that are the same size. This is the 7-foot, and it's the medium heavy rating. So it can hold a pretty dang heavy fish. This is the pole that we use actually to bring in that one carp that we accidentally got on the line that one time. And I wasn't too worried about it. Initially I was, but then it ended up being all right. Well, I think we got a total of 5 fish on this side of the canal. The sun is still fairly high, so we're gonna probably still get about an hour's worth of fishing time on the other side. if I can hustle back to my car and reposition, and then we're going to try some of our favorite spots there too. All right, we've made it back to the other side of the canal. I'm heading straight for my favorite tree. There's other spots that we're going to come back and try along the way, but right now, while we're still getting some sunlight, I definitely want to throw underneath that big tree. It definitely doesn't help that it just got completely overcast. It definitely changed the conditions. The sun is still fairly high up in the sky. There's just a lot of clouds now. Well, at least the rock bass still don't care. Oh, that's not a rock bass. Look at that. Uh-oh, hang on. We got to focus on saving his eye. Hey, there we go. A little largy. That's cute. And his eye looks like he's going to be all right. Let's get that little guy back in. That's funny.
Alright, there you go.
Yep. Littlest one of the night, but you know what? It still counts.
How many have you gotten?
5 rock bass, a smallmouth, and a largemouth.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Have a good one. Just a little guy, but still not as small as some of the ones we got last year. They're getting smaller. Now they're getting smaller. I've been commenting on how nice they were. How nice they... That fish actually isn't that small. It's still 6 inches. Hey, calm down. I'll let you go. Look at the red in that eye. That's a very red eye. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Stay down. Stay down. There we go. One last good fish. This is, I would say, fish of the day. Probably best fish of the day. Yeah, all right. Not a big bass, but it is a nice looking fish. That's what we were looking for right there. I knew they were out here. That's a pretty one right there. That's a fun size to catch. He put up a good fight. All right, thank you, buddy. I decided to move down a little bit and try some spaces further away from where I'm used to fishing over here. I don't have a ton more time left, but I wanted to make sure I at least tried this for a little while. This is another area where the brush tends to grow up later in the season, and it's harder to fish from. So trying to take my opportunities where I can. No, we're not doing that again. So imagine this, except it was 10 times as many, and I had about this many crawling up my pant legs. That's what we were dealing with earlier. So that is something that I'm definitely going to stick away from. Gotta watch it. Gotta watch it when you're out fishing. I just saw ripples in the water. We better go check and see what that was. Hey! I think that was a sucker fish. I'm gonna have to look that up. That was wild. All right, folks, that does it for fishing this evening. Our totals actually ended up pretty great tonight. We ended up with about 7 or 8 rock bass. We got that one smallmouth early on to start things off, and then we got 2 largemouth. We started with a little one, and then we finished off with that decent sized one just a little bit ago. So really, the fish are in here. I mean, I saw a 20-inch largemouth just yesterday in the canal. So all the fish are in here. Something jumped behind me not that long ago. Might have been a sucker fish. I got to take a look at the footage. But all sorts of fish are in the canal right now. Spinnerbaits seem to be the ticket for the moment. I think just about anything would work, though, if you give it time. The fish are in here thick as could be, so good time to get out of the canal and do some early season fishing. So I just want to thank you all for watching again. I really appreciate it, and I hope you all take care.